Hey everybody, welcome back. Hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. We're back here with a full full week of CAF Plus programming for you and getting things started with the show this evening. We've got a Comic Connect preview. It's their event Auction 64, and I've got Micah and not so new guy Harry hanging out. You're no we can't even call you that anymore. You know you've been around. You've gotten your photograph with Alec Baldwin. I mean, you rub
True.
elbows with celebrities nowadays, man. So you aren't a new guy. Maybe you're the guy they ask for when they want to talk to somebody, right? I mean, how's things going there for you?
It's great. I like working with Micah. It's nice to be a part of the team. I split my time between comics and art, but the art community is really where I like to spend my time. If you see me at conventions, that kind of thing, I'm usually hanging out with art collectors. So thanks a lot for inviting me into the fold here, Bill. It's appreciated.
It's always a pleasure. And we were talking in the green room, so we all had a very good Thanksgiving break, but now it's back to work. So, so tell me about the latest event auction, Micah. What do we have that's special
Okay.
around that we're gonna be looking at tonight?
So aside from this, just I think having like a pretty good selection of art coming up for auction next week. Was a couple of like little special things in this auction. So the auction kicks off with a small charity session that was spurred on by Al Plastino's family. So Plastino, golden Silver Age Superman, Batman artist, did a lot of kind of an unsung kind of creator of that time period. Created or had his hand in the creation of a bunch of things that I don't know that people are aware of. Supergirl, Brainiac, Legion of Superheroes, a lot of the Metallo, Parasite, just like a lot of foundational Superman stuff. Yeah. And so his family approached us earlier this year, and they have a bunch of his artwork, and we have some of that we'll show off later. But they had his drawing desk, which is where he did most of his work from the late 50s until he died in the early 2000s. Yeah, he had two desks, one that he kept at his studio in his house, and then one that was at a vacation house. He did most of the work on the one in the house, and the one from the vacation house was lost in a flood, so this is the desk where he did the majority of it. That desk never existed because it doesn't. But I can't say that he definitely drew the first Supergirl on this desk, but it's entirely possible. It's likely the desk would have been around at that time. So we have Plastino's desk, which is in the auction. And at New York Comic Con this year, we had as many artists as we could wrangle. New York is a tough show to wrangle anybody for anything. But we had the desk at our booth at New York Comic Con, and the idea was to have artists come and do drawings at Plastino's desk that we would then auction for charity. And we got some, considering how hard it is to get anybody to do anything at New York Comic Con because it's a hard place to get around in, we were able to get some pretty great ones. And there's the desk. That's Al Plastino's desk and chair. It's a very nice desk. Several of the artists commented on how nice the desk was. It's old, it's sturdy, it's heavy. It's the base is like cast iron, like it's incredibly heavy. It was a pain to lug it to the Javits Center and then back. And yeah, we got some great pieces drawn at that desk. All of those pieces are going to the proceeds from those are going to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital for cancer research. Mm-hmm. This was decided between us and the Plastino family. The Plastino family has connections to people who were treated at St. Jude's, and they want to, do a little bit to give back, which is really generous. So to start, generously giving us some of his time to do this drawing here is Mr. Jim Lee. So it's great, classic Jim Lee Batman profile, just like fantastic. I don't think any of us were prepared for him to spend as much time on a drawing for charity as he did, but he did a pretty good one, and it was fun just to hang out with Jim Lee for about half an hour. That was cool. The artist who drew at the desk at New York Comic Con, we got time-lapse videos of them working on it, and I believe those are going to be posted to the website
If they have not been already?
They're definitely, I know that some of them have been posted around our social medias and things like that. But yeah, it's cool. It's fun. Gil Kane came by and did this beautiful Joker drawing at Plastino's desk. Very generous of him. I got to hang out and chat with Gil Kane while he did that. It was also fun. Erik Larsen did not come up to the desk, but did donate this nice Savage Dragon, like full figure Savage Dragon drawing for
referencing the #1 cover.
Yep. This was run at the desk is Jorge Jimenez, like it artist of the moment, Jorge Jimenez, I think, with his wildly successful new Batman comic.
Yeah.
Cool little Superman drawing. Going a little out of left field, Mark Buckingham came by, and very generously Mark Buckingham came by and did this super cool Brainiac drawing. I like this one a lot. Mark, if people out there haven't met him, Buckingham is just super nice. Just like a genuinely nice human being.
One of the most pleasant people I have ever met.
He will not turn down a conversation. That is for sure.
No,
no, I love his work, and he's one of the nicest guys to talk to at a show.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and just yeah, super English, very proper in English. Always fun. This is by the Superman here by the Escorza brothers, the Teenage Ninja Turtles last Ronin artists, the Escorzas.
What was their process like for this? I wasn't around when this.
One of them penciled it and one of them inked it. I don't know which one is which. David Mack came by and did 3 drawings for us. We got a Joker, Kabuki, and a Daredevil by Mack. Some of cool little David Mack drawings. Alex Savick donated this Superman sketch on a blank cover. Joe Rubenstein did this drawing based on a Plastino original that is also in the auction.
We had it at the convention. He drew based on it. We'll show it in a second.
Yep. So yeah, it was a cover preliminary that we have by Plastino from the 40s that Rubenstein took and used as an inspiration to do this Superman. A couple more. So Joe Staton came by and did this great Supergirl and Crypto. And then Jose Marzan gave us this Superman portrait here, which is great. It's a signed print in there by Jose as well. There's some signed books. There's a book with like dozens of signatures in it, some very cool ones.
There are a handful of things the Plastino family gave us that are books signed by him as well. There's an Action Comic 252 signed by him.
Yeah, some cool stuff, and it's all, much of it for charity, and it's always good to do things for a good cause. So happy to help out the Plastino family. It's generous of them to donate their time. His daughter was running around both in New York and in Baltimore trying to wrangle donations and trying to get artists to come up. That's how, she was directly responsible for Jim Lee coming by, and yeah, much appreciated to them. And then it's cool to be part of things like this.
Exactly. So they approached you guys originally. How did they get
did? Yeah, it was their idea.
Yeah, wonderful. No, that's fantastic, man.
So that's how the auction is going to start next Thursday, December 11th, 7 p.m. Eastern. The first 20 odd items will be the Plastino charity session, and then it will segue into our regularly scheduled auction, alphabetical by artist. And the Plastino stuff that's in the auction that's not part of the charity, the stuff by Al Plastino, is just in the regular auction session under the P's.
Do we want to do that now, or do we want to?
Yeah, we can breeze through some of the Plastino stuff. There's a nice selection of Plastino drew the Batman Daily strip in the 60s, so it's like a handful of examples of the Batman Daily. These are all from 60, 68, 69.
He drew the last 3 or 4 storylines, so these are all from that period.
Nice Batgirl one there. This one's got an Batgirl and a fake Batman. And somebody's upside down. Another, this is cool. They're just great 60s. There you go, thank you. 60s Batman daily strips. They're a lot of fun. A lot of nice Catwoman ones. It's fun to have them.
In addition to the dailies, we've got these two Plastino Batman Sunday strips.
Also 69, I believe.
Yeah, 68 for this one and 68 for this one. So 68 for both of these. Just, really nice Batman all over both of them.
Yeah, it's fun to have that stuff. And the Plastino, he, I guess, kept a lot of his own artwork. So a lot of this stuff, it doesn't circulate very often. So there's apparently not a lot of his Batman strips. So for example, these next ones, they give us 2 pages. Both of these pages are from Lois Lane number 5. So as far as I can tell, the earliest Lois Lane artwork that's come up to market. So these are from the story The Girl of 100 Costumes. That's from Lois Lane number 5. And they feature Lois Lane trying on different outfits to try to impress Superman, who doesn't notice, because it was the 50s.
And as mentioned a moment ago, We've got this, which is really cool. It's from 1949. It's a prelim, or maybe it is an abandoned attempt at a finished cover. We're not 100% sure which it is. For Superman number 60, it's got a little more going on in the background. The pencils are pretty tight, so it makes me think that it's not a prelim. It's quite large, makes me think.
It's kind of a classic Superman cover. The finished published cover is very similar to this. There's no background in it, but it's by and large the same basic idea of Superman and whoever that other, some baseball player, but just, arguing as if Superman was an umpire, which is funny. So, yeah, this raised some questions, but there's some stuff on here that tells you that this is from the time period. Mostly, well, one, artists didn't do recreations until the 70s and 80s at the earliest. And there's a note on here that says, call Mort. And that would have been Mort Weisinger,
yes,
who died in the 50s. So that's our little backwards sort of detective work to say, okay, we think that actually is from the time of the actual cover, which is kind of awesome.
To those of you who don't work in this business, there is a lot more of that than you would think. We spend a lot of time going back and forth. We're like, what the hell do you think this actually is?
So did they bring the art to you? Or did you get to choose which pieces were?
For now, they brought the stuff to us, and there is some other, so Plastino drew the Nancy comic strip for a little bit in the 80s.
He was actually one of Bushmiller's main assistants, and he took over the Sundays fully in the 70s, but he had been drawing a lot of stuff for the Nancy Sundays for a while at that point. So he had drew just a huge number of them. I think we had one of them.
There's one Nancy Sunday in the auction. And he also did a comic strip in the 80s called Ferdinand, which we have lots of in large groups.
Yeah, so there are lots of groups of Ferdinand. That's another one that I don't know that there's a lot of Plastino Ferdinand on the market. I think he probably kept those.
We're about to change that. So it's cool, especially with families, like artists and their families who kept a lot of stuff. It's like, oh, there's a lot of cool, interesting things. And there you go, there's some Ferdinand. You can buy them fistfuls at a time. What is it, like about 10 in each group, give or take?
It's something like that. 8 to 12, probably.
But they're, classic comic strip kind of things going on. They're fun.
And yeah, I'm seeing that there's the question in the chat from Marcus about the charity. So there are 2 sets of Plastino things. There's the charity drawings, so the signed books, the desk, and the drawings from the conventions, and the signed prints. Those are all going to the St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. They do research on cancer treatment for children. And then the art by Plastino, that's just going to the family, which I also believe is a good cause, but that's not going to St. Jude.
Yeah, when you look at the auction,
it'll be clear.
It's the everything that ends at the very head of the auction is for charity. Everything that's in the main body of the auction is not. So everything,
it'll say charity in the description. The ones that are going to charity will say Al Plastino Charity Sketchathon, and the ones that are from the family will say Al Plastino Family Collection. It's pretty clear which is which.
the desk is the final piece that's part of the charity. So after the desk, everything is just normal. But it's pretty self-explanatory when you look at the auction in sequence. All right.
Let's move on to the main event.
I did put the link in the chat, so anybody who wants to look at the Plastino pieces, and I guess, did I put the link in there for the, yeah, here, let me just do it from the beginning, right? I guess, throw this in there as well. That kind of gets you started with the pieces that are there for the charity and the start of the auction. There we go.
Thank you so much. Now we can go to the meat of the auction, and there's some pretty great pieces, so I'm excited to dive into talking about them. Some of them are behind us.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of large pieces in this auction.
There's some of the largest things we've ever had. That giant Howard Chaykin painting, for example. But if we want to start at the beginning, I think the first piece to talk about is this Dave Cockrum page from Giant Size X-Men, which kind of yeah, I mean, it's a Dave Cockrum page from Giant Size X-Men, which is cool enough on its own. And this page, I mean, one, you got a pretty big, larger than half splash panel. And it's got all of the issues X-Men in it, both old and new. So you've got like every X-Men at the time, both past and present, on this page, which is super cool. So you have Wolverine and Marvel Girl and Iceman and Banshee and Sunfire and Storm and Cyclops and Thunderbird,
yeah.
Yeah, Cyclops, Angel, Nightcrawler, yeah, and I think that's Polaris down there, Storm up here. It's cool, yeah. I mean, some X-Men who didn't make it much farther than this issue. So Thunderbird and Sunfire were gone relatively soon.
Yeah, Krakoa is on,
and the main villain of the story, Krakoa,
and who also becomes a major player in more modern X-Men comics. So you know, Krakoa it sticks with the franchise.
Yeah, it's special. Like pages from books like this. You know, I mean, we all follow auctions. They don't come around very often anywhere. So being able to get to represent one is it's a privilege and it's fun. And there's a bunch of stuff in this auction like that where it's like these are not things that you see all the time.
And frankly, the worst Giant Size X-Men page would be extremely exciting to have an auction. It's fantastic that this one is as good as it is.
Right.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having an average Giant Size X-Men. Things cut out as well.
Sticking with the X-Men. This is Marc Silvestri. This is X-Men 249. It's great. Havoc and Polaris, and a bunch of, I don't know, mutants of some sort.
Yeah, I wasn't reading these comics.
I was reading these comics. I 100% bought this comic new off the rack. So this was my period of the X-Men. Like Marc Silvestri was my first X-Men artist, so this is a super cool piece to get to have as well. I dig it. I always loved Havoc's design. It's a great character design. Thank you, Neil Adams. Right?
Yeah.
And,
those issues of X-Men are some of like the greatest things ever.
And there's a great like frog creature up in by Havoc's leg. It's very cool. No, I love this period. I love Silvestri and Dan Green. I think they're a great artistic pairing. Yeah, I'm a big fan of that era of X-Men artwork. So it's fun to have that too. And again, more things you don't see Silvestri X-Men covers come up very often, or X-Men covers at all, but especially Silvestri X-Men covers. So it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to have that around. And next is the Daredevil next, or is the Barks next?
Oh, it is.
I think the Barks is next on my list.
This is the coolest piece of art I've ever had close to my possession. I love everything about it. It's hanging up by my desk when not right now, but until somebody buys it, it's going to live on my desk.
How long have you had it hanging by your desk, Mike?
A few weeks, a month or so.
The second he found
almost felt like you owned it.
He said he wanted to hang it up by his desk. I had to fly out to the consignor to get this. Came from the same collection as the Action Comics one that's in the current auction. We've got some more stuff coming from them later. But I couldn't have. I had it in my hands for like a second when I pulled it out of the bag and I got back to the office, and Micah had already.
This is the longest he's held it since.
So he is very excited.
The keeper of the Barks painting. No, it's super cool. It's from 1973. It's it's a modern from the time of Barks reinterpreting the cover to the classic Sheriff of Bullet Valley. That was a subject he revisited a bunch of times. This is the last of them. There were 7 Bullet Valley paintings that he did between 1971 and 1973, and this is the 7th. It's technically titled Sheriff Donald at Gory Gap. That was Barks's title. It's amazing. I love everything about it. And it comes with some cool stuff. So the guy who bought it from Barks in 1973, kept all of their correspondence. So it includes 4 letters from Barks, 3 letters on note paper, and then a handwritten letter on a postcard. And it includes the original bill of sale from Barks,
as well as an in progress.
Yeah, an Polaroid and a slide. Barks was very thorough with these things. And so the bill of sale tells you what it cost. In 1973, this would have set you back $450.
It's a little more than that now.
Right, I think it's around 22,000 or something like that, right?
I think it's exceptional. I love Carl Barks, and it's beautiful. I want to bring it to my house, but I can't.
I got to bring it to my house
briefly. That's true. That's pretty awesome, and it's just going to hang out back here for the rest of the show. But I love it. If you look at it on the website, the letters and things are all documented in the listing. So it has Barks's letters to him, and he kept his own letters to Barks. So you have both sides of the correspondence, which is fun. And it's amazing.
Well, you get to feel like you own it for another 10 days, Micah.
Yeah, maybe somebody will pay for it on very long time payments. It could be you. I wonder how many time payments would I need to pay for it. It depends on what it goes for, I guess. But I love it.
You all get to look at it a little longer as well. Mm-hmm. It'll be right here.
So now let's move on to something super cool, but less fun than Carl Barks. So
what could that be?
We got a couple of Frank Miller Daredevil pages.
So this one, just to proceed sort of chronologically, this is a page from 189. This is Black Widow and Stick getting attacked by, and Daredevil down the bottom here, getting attacked by the Hand. This is when they go to try and recover Elektra's body to stop the Hand from resurrecting her.
Yep. Stick does not make it out of this issue alive.
Yeah, he does not last more than a few pages after this.
Mm-hmm.
This is a great page from Miller and Jansen here. Miller layouts, Jansen finishes.
Yep.
Just great ninja action. Like, this is what you associate Miller Daredevil with, these kinds of scenes.
Yeah, absolutely perfect. And then from issue 190, so this is the Hand resurrecting Elektra. She is, she doesn't really fully awaken in this issue, but her eyes open, just a few pages after this. So this, Daredevil picks up that heartbeat and knows that she's alive. But this is a great page. You got the Hand doing their mystical ninja ceremony over Elektra. It's great. She's wearing her outfit. It's super cool. Super Miller layouts, beautiful Jansen finishes. Absolutely great. This is, and I consider 190. I know Miller did 191, but 191 is like an epilogue. 190 is the end of the story that started with Elektra's first appearance in 168.
Really, like the part of that run, 168 to 190, is really Elektra's story. Like 191 exists just kind of to refocus the book on Matt, but the Elektra story is really the meat of the run, and that's the resolution there is 190. It's a 168 to 190. That's, you're talking about 22 issues of comics, something like that. 23 issues of comics.
And you know, a lot of story happens in those 23 issues, and she dies halfway through. Spoilers, everybody.
Man, you're just ruining it for everybody tonight, Mike. Anybody
But-
else? Any other characters out there you want to spoil that are dead now?
For any of you who haven't read Frank Miller's Daredevil, what's wrong with you? Go out and do that.
Yeah, I was picking them up off the newsstand and reading them at that point. You weren't?
I
My
wasn't
God.
even, I read that whole run in one afternoon. Afternoon well spent. Go out and do that if you haven't already. It's fantastic.
I wasn't reading comics when Miller was. I didn't start reading comics till around when Miller was doing Dark Knight Returns, and even that was like I was like 10 when that comic came out. And I was like, I don't. Like I didn't know what to make. I remember seeing it when it was new and not knowing what to make of it. It was a couple years before I actually read it. But I don't know that like a 10, 11-year-old should be reading Dark Knight anyway.
That's exactly when I read it. It's great.
All right, more cool stuff. This is a page from Star Wars #1 by Howard Chaykin. This is the last page from Star Wars #1 by Howard Chaykin, and it's awesome. It's beautiful design. Like I love the layout of this page. So this is the issue 1 ends on the cliffhanger of Luke getting attacked by sand people.
I think
Right.
you can call them sand people.
I can call them sand people. You can't call them sand people. So yeah, leaving the reveal of Obi-Wan for the beginning of issue 2. But a great cliffhanger. You know, and honestly, when this issue came out, nobody knew what happened next because the movie wouldn't come out for another like 6 weeks. So
Yeah, this was the first time anybody had seen what Star Wars actually was. Like there was some promotion, but it was really like you didn't have a sense of the story until you sat down and read this comic.
And the issue 1 is the only issue that Chaykin inked himself. It's exceptional, and the pages from the movie adaptation issues of Star Wars they just don't come up for sale. I couldn't even find an example from our competition of a page from issue 1. So this is a special. So you got Luke and C-3PO and let's call him a Tusken Raider because that's what they actually are. So I don't think the derogatory stance people. I don't want to offend any Tusken Raiders in the viewing audience. But yeah, I think this is exceptional. And Chaykin inking himself, especially inking himself in 1977, it's fabulous.
The chunkiness of the inking is just incredible. And if that wasn't enough for you, we've got a page from Star Wars #5. This is pencils by Chaykin, inks by Steve Leialoha, and colors on the board by Steve Oliff, who honestly just did a wonderful job. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, people who have been around, you've probably seen these pages before. Oliff did a fair amount of coloring on original art in the 80s. So I've seen a handful of other Star Wars pages. I know he colored a handful of Miller Wolverine miniseries pages. But he did an excellent job. I think, and I understand it's altering the published work, but I think, Oliff is a professional and he's a very good colorist, and I think he actually makes this page look great.
And yeah, Newell, Oliff is the one that did the Akira colors for the Marvel editions. You can kind of see that in this job here. And the amount of black on this page, I think, means that the color is restricted just to the areas that were open, which I think helps it feel part of the design of the page. Really just fantastic. And no, this is not blue lines, if anyone's curious. This is colored on the original ink artwork. So
yeah, so penciled by Chaykin, inked by Leialoha, and colored by Oliff on this board. And so for people who want to know what sequence this is, so this is from issue 5. This is right after Luke and his gang of wily rebels have escaped from the Death Star, and Han and Luke here are manning the guns in the Millennium Falcon, shooting at TIE fighters trying to chase them down. So not, for people who, I think pretty much for everybody watching, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
You're like on a rampage today with the spoilers.
Yeah, who died in that TIE fighter explosion? Do you know, Micah?
I don't. I should. I should probably find out.
And it was signed by Orzechowski of all people. All right, I mean, you even get the letter in there.
Signed by a letter.
You don't get you don't see that too often.
Yeah, it's signed by Leila Olive and Orzechowski. So Orzechowski also did the work directly on this page, hand lettered right on the board. Yep. That's got everybody.
Chaykin is gettable.
Yeah, you could finish it. Yeah. So next up is this absolutely fantastic Gil Kane Submariner cover. This is Gil Kane and Joe Sinnott from Submariner 52.
Our second piece of art with Starfire on it today.
Sunfire.
That's what I said.
So we've got Sunfire here. This is
second appearance of Sunfire.
Second appearance, yeah. So very early appearance of the character. Great action shot of him and Namor here. Nobody drew Marvel covers like Gil Kane. He kind of just had that formula to do it, and they all look great.
I think Sinnott over Kane is especially nice.
Yeah, it's a really sort of sympathetic, complimentary inking job. It kind of highlights everything, smooths it out. It's a really great piece.
It's really great. This is 1972. It's pretty cool. Yeah, great. Yeah, Submariner, boats, Sunfire. Got a lot of 70s Marvel action going on right here.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
All right, now we have here. This is awesome. So this is the cover to Conan the Barbarian number 123. This is pencils and inks by John Buscema. And this has really everything Conan collectors look for in a Buscema Conan cover. You've got the sexy ladies. You've got Conan being Conan. And then you've got all these great monsters. So monsters, ladies, Conan being Conan. It's fabulous. And Buscema inking himself, it's just the best.
These guys on this cover, the little guys, are some of my favorite fantasy creatures that I've encountered in comic art in a really long time. They're so weird and so cute. I love them. I think this cover is incredible. They're the best.
It's almost a shame that Conan is about to kill all of them.
When I was writing the description for this, I read the entire issue trying to figure out if there was a name for those guys because I wanted to use it if there wasn't.
It's great.
The same frog creature that you saw on the Silvestri X-Men cover.
There you go. He comes back and tries to kill Havoc.
Yeah.
It goes through time because.
Yeah, Conan was just kind of showing up in Marvel Comics at that point. The Serpent Crown was around.
There you go. Oh, did we skip? We skipped.
Oh, I think we did. We did.
The Kaluta.
This is one of my favorite things in the auction.
It's huge.
It's big. It's amazing. So this is Mike Kaluta. This is from 1977, at the height of the studio era. So Kaluta and Barry Smith and Jeff Jones and Bernie Wrightson. Right?
Yeah.
Am I leaving anybody out?
No, this one.
When they were just creating art for the sake of creating art. None of this was made for the purposes of being published. None of this was a job. This was just, let's just get together and make great art. And this is a piece that Kaluta made during that time period. It was turned into a poster in 1978 and then published in the large studio hardcover book in 1979. And so it is published, but it's stunning. There's so much going on in this painting that that we've had it here for a while, and I still see new things in it when I look at it.
We could not show you everything that is here, so if you really want to see everything that's going on, just buy it.
Yeah,
take it
just
home.
buy it. Yeah, but no, the detail on this is extraordinary. This is really Kaluta just hitting all strides. And this painting is titled "The Wedding Guest."
Yeah, so people give me funny looks when I say that Kaluta is probably my overall favorite comic artist, and then I just show them this, and they stop.
Like, oh, okay. So that's a real treat to have one of those as well. The studio don't come up for sale.
Is that hanging in your office space, Harry?
I wish I had the space to hang up something that large. I mean, you can see it next to the Barks here. It's not so easy to hang on the wall.
The Barks very conveniently came with a frame.
That as well.
I would have easels around the office. You could find a way to make it work.
I think I probably could, but it is it's quite large. And yes, to Dan Goodwin there, the image area is 18 by 24. There's a little bit of a margin beyond that, so it's slightly larger than 18 by 24.
Yeah. All right. Now we got some more. That's the first one. More comics history here. This is Tony Moore. This is from The Walking Dead #1. This is page 7, right? 7?
Yeah.
So this is, so I'm going to spoil the beginning of The Walking Dead now too.
Look at this guy.
Spoiling everything. So for people who aren't familiar, I say why. It's a single comic. You can probably read it on the internet for nothing. So in this, the idea of The Walking Dead is it's what happens after the zombie movie. Like we see the movie and then what happens to the world after that. So The Walking Dead skips that part. So Rick here, a hero of The Walking Dead, wakes up after being in a coma into a world that's already overrun by zombies. And he's sort of making his way out of the hospital after he wakes up. So this page, this is page 7. So this Rick comes across zombies for the first time on page 6.
He opens the door to the cafeteria and there are a bunch of zombies inside.
Right.
You don't see Rick, you just see a bunch of zombies.
Right. So this is the second page of the entire series to have zombies in it, and the first page to have Rick and zombies on a page, and that's pretty incredible.
He fights a zombie, pushes it down the stairs, breaks its head off. So this is, Rick fighting and killing a zombie for the first time in the whole series. Pretty cool.
Yeah, super cool.
It's a really exciting page.
And Tony Moore only drew 6 issues. He did 6 issues and another
24 covers.
And then covers for a couple of years, but only drew the interiors of the first 6 issues. So, and we're lucky enough to have 2. So we've got that page from issue 1, and then we have here a page from issue 2. So this is another memorable page from the second issue. So we have Rick now having put his sort of more traditional, sort of cop outfit on. So Rick sort of appearing the way we remember him from most of the series. And this is him sort of stumbling into a house and finding basically a family who had decided that they didn't want to deal with a zombie outbreak, and they took care of it in their own way, which is a recurring theme in The Walking Dead about how, when confronted with a situation like a zombie apocalypse, how do you deal with that? And some people deal with it this way. But this is, it's a memorable, it's like Rick learning about the horrors of the world that he's woken up into. And
he sort of sets out into the world at the end of the first issue, and this is sort of the first thing that he encounters after he leaves the hospital and has gone off in search of his family. It's this family that didn't make it more than 10 minutes.
Right. Yeah.
I'm glad we waited till after Thanksgiving to
I'm sure there's plenty of people who would be happy if their family after Thanksgiving ended up like that. It brings out the best in people, Thanksgiving, doesn't it? Yeah. Cheery. All right, next. This is Mike Mignola. This is the cover to Hellboy in Hell #3. So this is it's Hellboy in Hell, basically the last major Hellboy story.
It's kind of the epilogue to the main Hellboy story that had been going on for 25 years at that point.
Something like that. But yeah, I mean, Mignola is Mignola, and he's a master of design and economy. I mean, he does so much with so little that, and this is something I've definitely mentioned before, and Mignola, I think, is one of a great example of it, is that great art looks easy. And what Mignola does doesn't look hard. It doesn't look complicated. It is so incredibly difficult. And I think, look at all the people who have tried to do it, and there's always something off. And it's something about him particularly, about how he approaches drawing. And if you look at his preliminary work and his pencil work, it's not loose, it's not haphazard. He's thinking all of this out very, very thoroughly. So like all the, this, what seems like a simple black and white design is not as simple as it appears. It's incredibly difficult what he's doing. And you got Hellboy, you got Snake, you got some skulls. I mean, it's a Mignola Hellboy cover, like a main series Mignola Hellboy cover.
And when they went to pick a Hellboy book to do artist editions of, to show off how good an artist Mignola had become, they picked this one. Like, this is the book that Mignola approached as a full, mature artist. He hadn't drawn Hellboy for a while at that point. The last 3 had been done by Figueiredo. This was him returning at the height of his powers to finish the story he had started in the 90s, and you can tell that that's exactly what's going on here. It's incredible.
Yeah, I like it a lot. Oh, this one's cool too. This is one that when this came in, this was exciting because I don't know anybody. I know exactly one person who's ever actually seen artwork from this book before, or interior artwork from this book before, because the cover has been touring. So this is Iron Man 128. This is Demon in a Bottle. And to the best of our knowledge and to everybody I've spoken to about it, a page from this comic book has not come up for public auction, at the very least in this century. I don't have records of what possibly was auctioned in the 90s or earlier, but yeah, none of the major auction houses have sold a page from Demon in a Bottle. There's only 2 pages on Cap, so it's not even like the pages are out there and people just holding on to them. We just don't know where they are. And this is an exceptional page, and that bottom sequence is perfection. If you want a page from Demon in a Bottle, well, you kind of want to have a bottle in it, right?
It's contrary to what you would think, there are not that many sequences of drinking or of bottles in this book. It's a lot of talking about drinking.
Yeah.
This page having Tony like about to pour himself a drink and then putting it down is special.
Yeah. So this is like the second or third to last page from the issue. This is Tony basically coming back from a little drunken rampage of Iron Man trying to save his company, learning that his company it's too late. Company's been sold. There's nothing he can do about it. And he comes back to Avengers Mansion, and he's welcomed by Jarvis and
Bethany Cave, his girlfriend at the time.
Thank you.
I just read these comics like 2 months ago. So.
And Jarvis says, "Oh, Mr. Stark, I've prepared some fresh coffee. I thought you might be thirsty." And Tony goes right for the bottle, and then Bethany says, reaches out and says, "Oh God, Tony, don't." And we learn on the next page that he doesn't. So this is the first drink in this where Tony doesn't drink it. But just the Tony going in and reaching for that bottle, I think sums up what the issue is and why people still think back fondly on it. Just perfectly. It's a great sequence of Tony showing his sort of, like his addiction pretty strongly here.
And also his resolve, right? Because this is the moment, this and then the page immediately following it where he beats it, right? He stopped.
But yeah, it's really fabulous. And again, like these, I don't even know. I wouldn't even begin to try to guess what this page is worth, because there's no frame of reference. There's no, the last page sold for this much. I was like, well, there is no last page. Yeah, so this is written and inked by Bob Layton and penciled by John Romita Jr., which is also kind of awesome. Signed by Romita Jr. down at the bottom. So very cool. It's exciting to have stuff like this. It's exciting to see stuff like this. Because yeah,
we got a call that this page was being offered to us, and the receptionist came to the back while we were eating lunch and said, "Hey, there's a guy on the phone who says he's got a page from Iron Man 128, and we both just rocketed out of our seats.
She said, "Is that something you're interested in?" And we were like, yeah.
Well, yeah, that is a piece of history right there.
And the cover, if you've been to the traveling Marvel exhibit. The cover has been touring around the world as part of that. So it's a significant book, and and kind of not that the movies have dealt with Demon in a Bottle specifically, but Tony's drinking is something that's become one of his his signature traits. And this
that's pretty cool. And you're right. I did do a search. There are only 2 published pages from this issue on CAF.
Yep. Oh, well, we did our due diligence.
We really wanted to confirm if we could actually brag about bringing the first one to auction, and we're pleased to report that we can.
Let's talk about Adam Kubert.
Yeah. So this is Adam Kubert Wolverine. If you've been following ComicConnect auctions, you're no stranger to Adam Kubert Wolverine. We've had a fair number of them. This one is really, really good.
Wolverine number 95.
This is, classic Kubert run. You can see you've got the bone claws that have already been adamantium by Magneto at this point. And that, I believe, is a Guardian or Vindicator at this point. I honestly don't remember.
Yes.
I don't read X-Men comics. That's the thing about me.
What it is Canadian on Canadian crime, and that's just unfortunate.
Yes. This is what they don't talk about in the news.
That's true. But a great big Kubert Wolverine. And yeah, I mean, I don't know if the page really would allow for Wolverine to be much larger than this, which is cool. It's Adam Kubert, inks by Tim Townsend. Great 90s period Wolverine. I mean, this cover really sums up what 90s Wolverine comics were like. It's got the bone claws. It's got this big in-your-face action.
I think there's a reason why when they relaunched the Wolverine comic 6 years ago, they got Adam Kubert to come back and draw it. He draws Wolverine. That's what he does.
And he draws Wolverine well.
Yeah.
So this is awesome. So it's fun to have stuff like this too. You can talk about this one.
All right. So we've got John Byrne, Al Gordon inks from Fantastic Four number 275. This is the infamous issue where She-Hulk gets photographed by the paparazzi while sunbathing topless on the roof of the Baxter Building, and she goes on a rampage and destroys the magazine before they can publish the pictures. This is her realizing that the paparazzi are after her, quickly trying to tie her top back on, and then diving after the helicopter. It's kind of a great page from this story. It's a funny story, and it's a funny page from that story. Byrne really brought a sense of humor to this book. It really became kind of a family comedy in a really entertaining way. And I see in the comments there's hat tip to Kevin Nolan. The idea for this story came from the classic Kevin Nolan Marvel fanfare pinup of She-Hulk sunbathing. And Byrne saw that and realized that there was maybe a story there, and so turned it into this issue of Fantastic Four, which again is sort of taken on a life of its own.
And Chuck here, I see in the comments, if you like John Byrne, we've got some more John Byrne. So this is from Marvel Premiere number 25. So this is Byrne's first ever Iron Fist story. So this is Byrne and Claremont on Iron Fist before the Iron Fist series. So you got the early Byrne Iron Fist. This is Byrne and Al McWilliams. But great, that bottom half splash panel is really fantastic. Really great 70s Byrne. And then a page that I didn't even know existed. So apparently, I learned this recently. John Byrne drew an issue of Ghost Rider, just one. Ghost Rider number 20.
But inked by Don Perlin.
Inked by Perlin.
The regular Ghost Rider artist, so it kind of looks like Perlin, kind of looks like Byrne.
Yep, but you got a great shot of Ghost Rider on his bike down at the bottom, and a little guest appearance by Daredevil. You got a little Byrne, Daredevil, Ghost Rider. It's really good drawing. I like this page a lot, and I think I got to go buy an issue of Ghost Rider apparently. But yeah, it's real cool. I had no idea. I'm a pretty big John Byrne fan, and I had no idea he drew an issue of Ghost Rider.
This is news to me, but you know, Chuck Arnold, he might have known this because he's one of John's biggest fans.
Well, and if that wasn't enough John Byrne for you, we're going to return to what we started with. We got a page from Sensational She-Hulk number 32. This is from when Byrne came back to the title.
Those comics are good.
Got a great panel of She-Hulk underwater here at the top, and then she comes up to the surface, and there's this big island covered in trees. Really great sort of foliage design by Byrne here.
And this is Byrne inking. No, Keith
Williams inks over Byrne. I think this is a really well-drawn page. I really like the panel of She-Hulk sort of popping her head above water. I really like the leaves in that bottom panel. And Byrne She-Hulk is just a classic. I mean,
I don't think people talk about how good Byrne She-Hulks were often enough. I think it's easy to overlook them because they're from the 90s. So you've got your X-Men and Fantastic Four and Superman, and the She-Hulk is easy to dismiss. And those comics are a lot of fun. They're funny. They're great. I think Byrne's art at that time period was fantastic. I'm a big fan of Byrne when he inks himself, and he did a lot of inking himself on She-Hulk.
I like him better when he's funny than when he's trying to be serious. I think he's stronger as a humor writer than as a real serious writer.
I think Byrne at his best embraces the fun aspect of comics. That we, you know, it's like, yeah, we're talking about, you know, world, you know, saving the world or saving the galaxy or whatever, you know, these big elaborate superhero storylines are. Byrne never forgot that he was making, you know, funny books, and he kept everything light, even when it was dramatic. You know, like Superman, which is where I kind of started on Byrne. You know, the comic was fun because it didn't take itself too serious, but it also wasn't making fun of the concept. You know, Byrne respected what he was doing and made work that was accessible and a lot of fun to read. Fantastic Fours are like that. You know, the Shield is like that. A lot of the best Byrne is, you know, is a little bit light without being, you know, it's not camp.
No, I agree. I always appreciated his humor.
And on that note, I think we do have to keep moving.
We do have to keep moving.
There's a lot left to get to.
Well, same as always. We'll get to it. So this is Erik Larsen. This is Amazing Spider-Man 339. It's a really great Larsen Spider-Man page. You got Spider-Man all over it, hanging upside down. You got a close-up. You got a is he shooting webs? I think he's doing something. You got Dr. Octopus in here. You've got Sandman in here. So it's a pretty great, you know, Erik Larsen, like early 90s Spider-Man page. And I think we all know the story about the Larsen Spider-Mans is that most of them were lost in a fire or flood at Larsen's home. So the only pages that really survived were the pages that went to inkers and the pages that he had already sold. So Larsen Spider-Man, not the most easy to acquire things in comic art. And it was a lot of fun time period on Spider-Man. Following up Todd McFarlane, that Spider-Man was, doing a lot of fun things back then. This is another one of my favorite things in the auction. This is as good a Frank Quitely new X-Men pages I've ever seen in person. One, you don't see these pages very often at all. And when you do, you very rarely see pages that are this good. So this is from New X-Men 116. This is basically just Wolverine trying his hardest to kill Cassandra Nova, and she's having none of it. But just Quitely's work on this series is ridiculous. It's amazing. And to get a page with this much Wolverine on it, and also the Beast, and Cyclops, and Jean, I think Jean is on this page too, and Professor X. It's an excellent page from a really, really good comic, and just like outstanding work from Quitely. Like he's fantastic.
Yep, I like this one a lot.
But I've seen a fair share of new X-Men pages, And honestly, I'd be hard pressed to say that I've seen better pages. And the only ones that even come close is that I know a guy who has a complete issue and he's not selling, so it doesn't matter how good those pages are. But yeah, that's special. It's a special piece, and I love it. I love it very much.
Yeah, I got nothing to add. Quietly's the best. It's a good one.
All right. You want to talk about John Buscema? We'll head into the abbreviated John Buscema portion of our auction highlights.
So we talked a little bit about John Buscema Conan earlier. We've been talking about Wolverine. We got a John Buscema Wolverine cover from Marvel Comics Presents #6. So the first 10 issues of Marvel Comics Presents were a Buscema Jansen Wolverine story that kind of led into the 1988 Wolverine ongoing series. This cover is an interesting one. It's got a border that was drawn by Tom Sutton featuring Man-Thing. So the border is a recreation.
Yeah, well, it's easier just to take it out. So the border is all like just modern recreation. The artwork is, you can pull up the image on the page too, it's probably easier. But you can see in the part that's actual artwork, they knew what the border was going to be when this was drawn because the outline of the border is present. So yeah, very strange methods.
Kind of a peculiar production process. But this is some of my favorite Buscema artwork in this period, the Marvel Comics Presents stories, the early issues of the Wolverine ongoing. I think really letting Buscema play into those action-adventure roots that he loved so much in stories like Conan and Tarzan and things like that, letting him bring that sensibility to Wolverine, turning Wolverine into kind of a crime thriller, Indiana Jones type.
Yeah, introducing the patch era of Wolverine.
And this cover is one of just a couple.
Two. Yeah, Buscema only actually did 2 covers to the Marvel Comics Presents run, and this is the second one.
I think that's correct.
And if you're wondering, the moon is a replacement copy here because in the original art underneath it, they didn't draw the entire circle. So
there's another moon under that moon. So to move on to more Buscema, we've got another Wolverine page. This is from Wolverine 14. So this is the Gehenna Stone Affair. This is Buscema pencils and Sienkiewicz inks. I think a really great pairing. You wouldn't think would work well, but works great. Just a really good action page here. We've got a handful of really cool Silver Surfer related pieces. We've got this pencil illustration.
Yes, mostly finished Surfer pencils. This was probably a commission that he never finished or restarted. Buscema was weird that way.
He would often walk away from commissions, redraw them, that kind of thing. We've got this very interesting Silver Surfer 110 page. It's Buscema pencils, Jeff Isherwood ink.
We believe that's the last time Buscema ever drew the Silver Surfer.
Yeah, his sort of signature character. This is the last issue that he worked on him. We've got a couple of pin-up-y pieces by Buscema. We've got a Red Wolf Marvel Handbook pinup.
Awesome.
We've got a Tarzan pinup from Tarzan #1 from the Buscema drew the Marvel Tarzan when they took over the license.
Yeah, their first issue had was one of those like Marvel Masterwork pinups or whatever they called them. So this was the Tarzan pinup from the first issue of Buscema's Tarzan, which is awesome. It was 1977. Very cool. And another Marvel Handbook. This is Roughhouse. So this is like from the late 80s Marvel Handbook update. So Roughhouse is a character from the Wolverine series. But cool. Buscema drawing characters from the Wolverine comic that he drew.
This is a piece of a page that again he would often walk away from things he had started and redo them. This is a piece of a page from the Judgment Day graphic novel. I think we included the finished page in the listings if you want to compare it, but they're very similar. But this has got Mephisto and Silver Surfer.
Yeah, I mean, and like cool. A finished inked Silver Surfer. Like it's fantastic. And mostly finished and inked Mephisto. Like, this is a great piece, and it's a testament to Buscema's perfectionism. I'm conflating two words. That he was like, yeah, it's not good enough. I'm going to do this again. Like the surfer figure is fantastic. It's perfect, and he's not good enough for John Buscema.
We've got another great, mostly finished
another
Surfer and Galactus image. This one is massive and very, very good.
But again, at some point he was like, I got to redo this. It's not good enough. I got to redo it because it's not finished. But again, fully inked Surfer, mostly inked Galactus. Buscema chose to sign this one on Surfer's board, which was nice of him. But yeah, very cool.
We've got a couple of interesting pieces. We've got 2 more pages from the Stan Lee Superman one-shot that Buscema did with Stan Lee in the early 2000s. So we've got a page here of Superman fighting the alien criminal who killed his wife. And another page, this is page 1. It's a great full-page splash of the Stan Lee Superman and his wife on their home planet. I forget what their home planet is called in this story.
Is it not Krypton?
I don't think it's Krypton. But this page here is great. You get the full costume, the alien planet.
It's Stan Lee saying, if I had created Superman, he wouldn't be from Krypton. I could have come up with a much better name for his planet.
This one's interesting. It requires a little bit of explanation. This is...
To start, we believe this is among the oldest pieces of John Buscema art to ever come up from.
Yes, he started working in comics in the 50s, but at the time his artwork would not have been returned to him. So we think that this is, for those of you who don't know, 4-Color Comics, in their line of movie adaptations, had an adaptation of Kubrick's Spartacus, drawn by John Buscema, early but recognizable.
Yep.
And it had a photo cover. We think that this was meant to be the cover to that issue, and it was either abandoned by Buscema or that he was told to abandon it because they were going to replace it with a photo cover instead. So it's not finished, but I do believe that this was meant to be the finish. The drawing is very tight. The painting is very finished in the parts where he continued working.
But recognizably, Kirk Douglas, Tony Curtis, Laurence Olivier, and Gene Simmons. Like it's really great. It's a beautiful painting. I don't think Buscema is known as much for his paintings as he maybe should be, but he was a very successful commercial illustrator before he started doing comics full time, and all that work is all painted in the traditional like advertising illustration style. And this is just really cool because it's something where if they did use a painting for the cover, and if this was actually created, I mean obviously not finished, but if this were finished and used as the cover to the comic book, I wouldn't be holding it in my hands. It would be gone because Dell did not return any artwork at that time period. None of Buscema's artwork from that time that he did in the romance comics or the stuff he was doing for Dell was ever returned to him. So he was never got back any of that art he did in that sort of pre-hero time period. So it's cool to have something like that, sort of like 1960.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I've never seen any of the art from Spartacus. It very likely does not exist.
Almost definitely.
And so to see what, again, I believe was meant to be the cover is kind of incredible. And how good he was at likenesses without it just turning into, tracing photographs. Like it really is a skill.
Now we can talk about how good he was at drawing Conan. So this is, bear with us.
Sorry, there's
technical difficulties.
Some problems.
So we have 2 pages from the Conan the Rogue graphic novel. These are the first 2 pages from Conan the Rogue that have ever been offered for sale. There's 1 page missing from the issue that kept it from being complete, but the family believes that page was given to someone. It wasn't they didn't sell it. So Buscema liked Conan the Rogue enough that he never offered it for sale. So this is a beautiful splash page. This is sort of the invading art, kind of regional king or ruler, they kind of entering the village or lording over the peasants early on in the story. And just, man, he drew it gigantic. It's beautiful.
Chuck Arnold here is jumping in to say that it was Buscema's favorite Conan book.
Exactly.
Micah kind of described it as his Citizen Kane. I think that's very apt. He wrote the plot himself, drew it, penciled, inked, colored. It is stunning.
And this is from later on in the story. This Conan has sort of been like curried favor with the daughter of that sort of, I forget what his actual title is, but not a king, but sort of like a regional like warlord. So his daughter here, looking like beautiful, like a great Buscema woman, has taken a liking to Conan, and Conan makes a joke to, this is a servant woman who's been sent over to him to pass along a message from her, and Conan says, "Oh, but what if I prefer you instead?" And she says, "Oh my God, you've killed me." And then the woman, of course, then sticks her leopard on this woman because she wants no competition for Conan's affections. And that's horrific, but deftly handled by Buscema. Really beautiful. And man, the guy could draw cats. Look at that.
That's a beautiful page. Wow.
Ridiculous.
If you want more,
and also we have the prelim to that page also as well, listed separately. This was the only preliminary page from Conan the Rogue that the family had. So it's possible. We do believe he sold. If you look on tap, there are Conan the Rogue prelims. So it looks like he did sell prelims. But this was it was thought it'd be nice to have the matching page in prelim up in the auction.
And then the last Buscema piece, because that wasn't enough, but we really just had to.
This is the one that Bill's going to want.
It's everybody. It's everybody. It's awesome.
It's basically the entire Marvel universe at that point. Maybe not entirely, but it's the major players anyway.
It's got Conan and assorted supporting characters. Got Wolverine,
X-Men over here. You've got Fantastic Four over there. You've got Avengers everywhere.
You got Spider-Man. You got sort of floating Mary Jane over here. You get your Warriors 3 in the corner. You've got
Galactus up here, Silver Surfer,
Magneto, and Daredevil.
What's great about this piece is that it's a little bit rough. Like Buscema's drawing is a little loosey-goosey sometimes, and there's not a single character on this page that you can't identify. Like you can tell who the character is just honestly, in some cases, just based on the gesture of the pose that they're in. It's like, oh, that's Black Panther, or that's Daredevil, or
my favorite example of that is Sue Storm down over here. My favorite single image on this drawing, but you could say that about any of them. It's really, really great. I just spent several minutes at a time going through, looking at all of the different characters. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's and gigantic. There's Thor in here somewhere, Bill.
Thor, he's right up here. Yeah. Very good Thor. But yeah, sorry about so much Buscema, but it's really an embarrassment of riches on that front.
But that's the end of the Buscemas for now. I think that's the end of the end of the John Buscema portion of this.
Yeah.
All right, that's really great. Yeah, I don't see MODOK on there, CJ. I don't see Cyclops on that piece. You got Professor X.
Cyclops is down there with the X.
He's with G. Right behind me.
Oh my gosh, there he is. I didn't see him. Now I see him.
No MODOK though.
No MODOK.
Nothing for Khosra on here.
No.
I'm pretty sure Captain America's on it, Alberto.
I do. I see Cap on there for sure. Hawkeye. Scarlet
and I saw Alberto asking earlier if I was taking any OAX pre-show commissions, and I'm not. But still happy to draw for people at OAX if anybody wants.
Hey, I've got the only original by you on CAF, Micah.
On CAF, yes. That's because I haven't given Newell his Stingray yet.
Ah. Don't you're gonna give it to him at OAX?
Sure. I'll give it to him at OAX. I was supposed to give it to him at Baltimore, and I didn't. But all right. So this is pretty cool. So this is a complete 11-page story. This is Kurt Swan, a complete 11-page story from Action Comics number 380. This is 1969. And I didn't realize when we got this how uncommon it was to find complete Kurt Swan stories that are this old. Most of the complete stories you'd come across are from the 80s. So this is what, and it's cool. There's Superman and Supergirl, and in costume the whole time, which is also kind of uncommon for Swan Superman. And it's basically them doing a little bit of like reconnaissance and research on different kinds of kryptonite. So it's both a Supergirl story, a Superman story, a Supergirl story, and a kryptonite story. So you got a lot of wackiness, a lot of like changing of appearances from exposure to different kryptonites.
And it's Swan and Russo, so it's a really strong inking, I think, and it looks great.
There's some great Superman images. It's a really, really strong story. And yeah, it's apparently unusual to find. And even if you look at the pages are all individually priced on the backs. They range from $10 to $25, but which means that they were available individually, and somebody just had the wherewithal to buy the whole story. So, by a coincidence, the story, if somebody had bought one page out of the story, it wouldn't have been able to be complete. So it's cool, and with things like this story's been complete now for 55 years, and be great if it could stay that way. But yeah, very cool, great splash page. Little Supergirl, bondaging Superman, some chains, comic books. But yeah, great. Swan Superman is Superman.
Next up, we got an exciting piece by the ever popular Gabriele Dell'Otto.
It's a prerequisite of working here is that we pronounce his name properly, or Vince gets mad at us.
That is true. So this is a very recognizable piece. It was originally created as a print for the Angoulême Festival.
2003, I believe?
Yeah, that is correct. It's been published several times since then in various art books featuring Dell'Otto's artwork, but it was originally created for the Angoulême Festival. It's just a great image of Daredevil from a very desirable period in Dell'Otto's career, but it's brilliant use of red. Like, you would think that it would be muddy because it's all the same color, but it's pretty clear what everything is, which I think is just a testament to how he's able to bring out all of the texture and tone and things. It's just a really cool piece. It's great to see artwork from this time period. Typically what you're seeing with Dell'Otto is more recent pieces, not necessarily published ones. So we're very happy to have this.
It's really beautifully painted. It's a beautiful painting, and it's a great representation of Daredevil. Dell'Otto is really good at capturing kind of the essence of characters. It's, whether it's Spider-Man or Batman or whatever. It's like he's good at he's not putting the same characters in different characters in the same poses. It really, just a lot of thought, I think, goes into his work. And I've seen him talk about his work, and you can tell just listening to him talk that he's not just going through the motions when he's creating paintings.
Yeah, and to that end, we have another one by him. This one's not published. Also spectacular. It's a Spider-Man versus Green Goblin. Just really excellent. This is one of his colored pencil on black paper drawings. Yeah, sorry, it's not showing up so well. But really the ability to bring out those highlights, and there's still a lot of black on the page, but his ability to sort of pull out the relevant details that give the full picture is really impressive, especially in a medium that's this unforgiving. It's very hard to erase,
right,
when you're doing this.
Good work from Del Otto.
You want to take this one?
Sure. I talk about Peter Parker and his weird donut.
That's the guy's weird donut.
This is Todd McFarlane. This is from Spider-Man number 9. And I'm pretty sure this is the only piece of art from Spider-Man number 9 that's coming up for auction soon. So don't pay attention to anybody who says otherwise. But it's a fun little sequence. It's Peter Parker meeting with this guy who I forget who it is. I did check, but meeting with this guy in a diner, and the guy is pouring ketchup on a donut, much to Peter Parker's chagrin, because that's disgusting.
It's really gross. I have a hard time looking at this page.
But very McFarlane. The drawing it couldn't be more McFarlane. He's sort of at his sort of cartooniest, and great Peter Parker. You've got two. So for McFarlane devotees, if you'll about McFarlane's sneaking Felix the Cat into comics whenever possible, and this page has 2 Felixes on it on the ketchup bottle, on the top there and again at the bottom. So that's a fun little McFarlaneism, little Felix the Cat, and I got no problem with anybody who loves Felix the Cat.
Sure, I also love Felix the Cat. It was fun that he was in Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's true. It's like Terry Austin would do that with Popeye. He would sneak Popeye into comics, and McFarlane did it with Felix.
All right, we got some interesting pieces up next. Do you want to?
Sure. So this is a recreation of X-Men 1. So this is pencils by Jack Kirby, signed down here at the bottom. Inks by Dick Ayers, signed down here. And colors by Stan Goldberg. So Ayers did not ink X-Men 1 originally, but Goldberg did color it. So you have 2 of the people responsible for the original X-Men 1 cover working on this recreation. And Kirby, so in the late 80s and into the early 90s, Kirby did a handful of recreations. This is the only one that I've seen that's inked by somebody else, or inked at all, and colored, obviously. But they were all auctioned by the Kirby family. So most of them were done, created in this is my understanding, created in the sort of late 80s and into the very early 90s. And they were all sold by the Kirby family through Sotheby's, which is where you would go to auction comic book stuff at that time. And so all very, above board. They're all stamped on the back.
This should be on the list.
Yeah,
as well.
There is. I think the image is there, but stamped on the back it says a Jack Kirby recreation. So that's the official Kirby family stamp. But yeah, so and you can see in this one, you can see some Kirby pencils underneath the inks. Really, and so when Kirby did these recreations, Kirby didn't like doing recreations. It wasn't, so he didn't do very many, and he never did the same one twice. So that is the only X-Men 1 recreation that Kirby ever did, and then we have here the only X-Men 4 recreation that Kirby ever did. This one's all pencil. And yes, signed by Kirby. It is the same stamp on the back. Again, auctioned through Sotheby's in the early 90s. On behalf of the, direct from the Kirbys. And, it's likely that Kirby wouldn't have done things like the title lettering or any of the text probably.
Or all the shading.
The filling in the black. See, Kirby was, getting on in years at this point.
And that wasn't stuff he liked to do even in his prime.
Right. But it is generally accepted that Kirby did in fact work on these, and probably limited to the figures themselves. But that's still it's incredible. And both of these are covers to comic books where the original covers, if they exist at all, which they likelihood is that they don't. And even if they did, lost to the wind, who knows, with a lot of this very early Marvel stuff. But you got a great X-Men 4 is it's a Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, and it's you got all the X-Men, all the Brotherhood, great image of all of them, great Magneto, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver when they were still villains. Yeah, these are just very cool pieces and incredibly unusual. And it's cool to see things like that from Kirby, especially at a time where he was kind of he wasn't really given the esteem that the way we think of Kirby now is not really how Kirby was thought of in the late 80s. It was a little bit of like old-fashioned, like, oh, Kirby's like, that's, and I think, one of those things that picked up with time, of course, after he passed in 92, 94, something like that, people revisit, but, and I'm not saying people didn't give Kirby credit for creating things, but there was an old-fashionedness to his drawing back then. I remember when Kirby wasn't a thing that wasn't an artist that was really even something where people said, oh, you should go read these until later. And then when he did, you could go read things like this. This is Journey into Mystery 86. Longtime viewers will be familiar with Journey into Mystery 86 pages, but they're all awesome. It's still they're still the fourth appearance of Thor, and they're still from 1962. They still predate Avengers #1. They still predate Avengers 1. They're exceptional, and honestly, it's Kirby art from this early on in his hero days at Marvel. It's just cool, and you see it so infrequently. And he's still got a great page, a lot of Thor on this page, and and just doing what Thor does, fighting people with hammers and mirrors.
Still the first appearance of Zarko the
I don't know what to say.
Seen here on this page?
Yeah, Zarko is actually on this page. We haven't had a lot of pages with Zarko on them. No, it's awesome. It's a 1962 Thor page. I mean, there's only so many.
Well, I can't believe Thor fell for the trapdoor, gag.
Well, he was green. He hadn't been doing this.
He'd been Thor for like 4 months.
I had actually been Thor at that point. Hadn't he been Thor for like thousands of years?
Well, but Don Blake hadn't been Thor for more than a few months.
Fair enough. But no, it's just early Marvel art is so uncommon that I know we've had pages from that story before, but it doesn't make them any less cool because we keep seeing them. It's just they're still exceptional pieces from 60 plus years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Back when Marvel had only put out 3 comics, three heroes.
Yep. All right. We gotta keep it moving. We got Art Adams. You like Art Adams? This is great. We've got a few of them, so we'll be talking about him for a bit. But this is a fantastic cover. The Authority number 28.
Yeah.
This is Midnighter and Apollo right here. Mid-action is beautiful.
Yeah, Art Adams was brought in to finish Mark Millar's Authority story, and so he came in and drew the final 2 issues. This is the cover to the first part of first issue of those 2 issues that Adams drew. This is again Adams inked by Tim Townsend, but an exceptional image of Midnighter and Apollo. and Art's art. Art's been one of the best artists in comics for 40 years now. It's absurd almost.
Having this and the handful of other ones that we've had, we've been talking about how his style, like how we were talking about with Kirby a minute ago, it doesn't feel dated. Like he's been drawing comics and his style hasn't changed all that much since the 80s, but it just doesn't feel old.
Right. It's true. This is a Monkey Man and O'Brien page from Dark Presents number 100. Unfortunately, I don't believe there is any Monkey Man or O'Brien, but it's still awesome. Still beautiful drawing from Art Adams. And then this is a character design from the Bloodlines crossover event that DC did in like 1991, 92, something like that. This is back when the characters originally were named after the 7 Deadly Sins. The names were changed, but the characters remain essentially unchanged into the actual books.
And then we've got a handful of cool prelims. We've got Classic X-Men.
Yeah, this is that's a Classic X-Men number 20. It says 14 on the actual prelim, but it's number 20. That's, if you can't see it, that's Sauron, and yeah, you can see Wolverine and the X-Men kind of coming up in the background there. But it's cool. It's like an Adams prelim from 1988.
And then we've got a couple of really great Godzilla prelims from a book that Art Adams wrote but didn't actually do the finished art from. So if you want Art Adams drawings from this Godzilla comic.
And so there was like 4 issues of the 90s Godzilla comic at Dark Horse that Adams wrote and did the layouts for, but didn't do the finished art to. So this is the only Adams artwork from those stories. And I mean, for me, Godzilla is one of those like things that Art Adams, that's what he does. He draws Godzilla. He draws Godzilla, he draws monkeys, and you know, and honestly, and the X-Men as babies. That's what I think of when I think of Art Adams. And you know, Art Adams only drew the interior art to one Godzilla comic, I believe.
It might be like one and a short story,
maybe,
but it's not more than that.
But you've got some great Godzilla getting blasted here, and this is a nice big splash image of Godzilla kind of towering over a thing with a big spaceship. I think they're exceptional. I have one of these prelims. I think they're great. I have a page from the Godzilla color special. I love Art Adams Godzilla art. I would like more of it. If anybody's out there wants to sell me some Art Adams Godzilla art.
One is just not enough, is it?
Well, no. 2 isn't enough either, apparently.
He cannot stop.
Nope.
All right. Next up, we've got Brian Hitch. This is the cover to Ultimate number 4.
That's the best cover to the first run of the Ultimates right there.
It was, I believe, the number 1 cover, or the number 2 cover, and then it says number 3 on the actual piece, and then it was actually used as number 4. So it had quite the journey to being published. But
it's a great image.
It's very good.
Of Ultimate Thor. Which is basically
Hitch
a Thor now.
And Curry, who was sort of the go-to inker for Hitch at the time, and I believe again now. Fantastic, like half-figure Thor image, mid-action, rain coming down. Like this is just it's widescreen comics at its finest.
Yeah, and that first Ultimate series is so good. It's so good. That was the comic that made me think that maybe the Ultimate Universe wasn't a terrible idea. Because the Ultimates is real good.
I've reread it a few times myself. It's great.
And continuing in that vein, we got
a big piece of art by Brian Hitch.
Yeah, giant Brian Hitch widescreen comics. This is JLA. So this is Mark Waid, Brian Hitch, right after The Authority. This would have been the 2001, so right, fresh off The Authority. This is from a story in the JLA series where the Justice League and their secret identities get split from each other into separate beings. The Justice League have kind of been wiped out, but Eel O'Brien here in the back leads the secret identities. So you got Clark Kent over here, Bruce Wayne, and you got John Jones over there, and I can't see all the way to the other side to name everybody, but you can figure out which ones are which. It's a really cool page. Just a great. This is the cliffhanger to the second to last issue in the series. It's very cool. It is mounted to this.
Yeah, it was unfortunately dry mounted to this backing, which could be undone professionally.
More than we could manage here in the office. Frankly, though, I think it's actually matted quite nicely. It can be reframed within this mat, or if you want to get it undone, get it undone. But I really like this page. It's great drawing from Hitch and Neary, who was his inker at the time.
It is cool. All right. Oh, some more X-Men.
More double wide.
I got to take this out because it is a wraparound cover. So this is the X-Men, The Coming of Triple Kill. This, for people who might not be aware, was a giveaway comic. Was it a giveaway or mail away?
It was a giveaway comic. But I think it might have been a mail away. But if you ate a lot of Tony's frozen pizza in the 90s, you might be familiar with this one. Yeah. If you didn't, you probably haven't heard of it. It's great.
It's such a good cover. It's Jeff Isherwood pencils and inks, right?
Pencils and inks.
And it's great image of the 90s X-Men team on the front.
And a really fantastic Mr. Sinister as well on the other side.
No, but just like all the classic 90s costumes, just a great Wolverine in the forefront. It's really just a beautiful cover. And honestly, this is going to be one of the bargains of the auction, because if this were a main title X-Men cover, it would be more money. And somebody's going to get a really beautiful piece of art for a lot less than they would otherwise, and it doesn't make the art any less beautiful. It's really quite nice.
And don't let the fact that it's from a pizza giveaway bother you. You're not too good for pizza. Nobody is too good for pizza.
Nobody. I never want to be too good for pizza.
And that art is fantastic.
Mm-hmm. And how? All right. Do we do that
first?
Which one?
This one. All right. So we got a fantastic Captain America page from Captain America 193. This is Kirby's first issue back on the title when he comes back to Marvel in the 70s. Got a guest appearance from an important figure in American history. You're not seeing things that is Henry Kissinger appearing here in the Mad Bomb storyline. This page is awesome. It's cool that Kissinger is there. It's got Cap all over it.
It would be funnier if he turned out that Kissinger was the Mad Bomb.
Yes, yes.
But only in the real world.
Yes. This was a few years after the Nixon villain Cap story. Much more of a traditional sci-fi story, but in fact we do have Kissinger here. But great inking on this page from Giacoya. Really beautiful Bronze Age Kirby artwork. This is kind of my period for Kirby. I really like the expressiveness, and I think Giacoya translates that really well.
We've also got, this is a real nice Kirby Commandy page. This is Commandy number 20. Just an excellent Commandy page. It's got everything you'd want in a Commandy page. A lot of Commandy, a lot of creatures, and just cool Kirby stuff. So Commandy.
And this is before we move on.
Oh, sure.
He discovers that there are other people, and then unfortunately discovers that there are the other people are robots. So kind of a heartbreaking Commandy page. His desire to find another human being dashed by the mechanical men.
He'll forever be the last boy on Earth. A couple more Kirby's to get you real quick, and then we'll be past the Kirby section. This is from the second Superpowers series, the only one that Kirby drew. And this is one of the rare pages that Kirby actually penciled on this board. It was actually inked over Kirby's pencils. So this is Greg Theakston inking over Kirby's pencils. There's another page in the auction as well that's Theakston inking over Lightbox inking Kirby's pencils. This page has the pencils on it. And it's got Green Lantern and Green Arrow and Parademons. It's a lot of cool Superpowers-y Kirby stuff. So if you're around my age and you grew up there with that kind of era of the Superpowers cartoon and the toys, there'll be a lot of familiarity here.
Now we're going to jump back in time like 25 years.
At least.
We got a very, very cool 1950 Jack Kirby, Joe Simon page from Boys Ranch #1. This was.
It says Western Tales 31, but that the story was actually published in Boys Ranch #1, which is cool.
So you can see that great Simon inking, that real expressive early Kirby drawing. I love this period of Kirby's artwork. I know I was just waxing poetic about the Bronze Age, but I have a real soft spot for this late Golden Age Kirby as well. I think this page is absolutely fantastic. You get your sort of kid gang comics that Simon and Kirby were so adept at that they kept bringing to different publishers throughout the Golden Age, and that this is them trying to translate that into a Western setting, and I think succeeding quite brilliantly.
Mm-hmm. All right. Just skim through some John Romita Jr. pieces real quick. This is a pretty cool page from X-Men. This is X-Men 190. So real nice Storm page, and Spider-Man. You know, classic X-Men Spider-Man. But great, you know, this is early Romita Jr. X-Men. Just Mohawk Storm. There's a lot going on here. It's cool. Great time period for Romita Jr. and for the X-Men. So really great page from World War Hulk, which up and forward a bunch with Romita Jr. So it's got Hulk and Black Bolt. Black Bolt?
Yeah,
Black
Bolt. This is Hulk when he first returns to Earth and sort of encounters the humans. That's kind of his first battle when he comes back. This is where it all kicks off, the World War Hulk.
And really beautiful Romita Jr. Klaus Janson page right there. And then this is this is from the Peter Parker Spider-Man. So just a real good action page. Spider-Man in action, getting kind of his ass handed to him a little bit, but yeah, real.
That's what we all love about Spider-Man anyway.
It's true. And then another is an Amazing Spider-Man page. Another also Romita Jr. Amazing Spider-Man page. So a handful of choices for your Romita Jr. fans.
Now we turn to one of Micah's favorite things in the world.
More talking ducks. This is, I was saying before, it's like, you know, sometimes you see something, it's like, oh, I've seen these before, but it's like, oh, but I've never seen one this good. This is as good a Don Rosa Uncle Scrooge page as I've ever come across. So this is from, there's a couple of interesting things about this page. So this is from the Walt Disney's Donald Duck Adventures #1 from 1990. This is the only story that Rosa ever drew for the Walt Disney Company. Everything else Rosa drew was sort of freelance work for Gladstone or whoever had the Duck license. A lot of like the
European publishers that would republish Disney stuff and commission.
But this was the only story Rosa ever did that was specifically commissioned by the Disney people. And it is the sequel. This is from a story called The Money Pit. It's a sequel to an old Carl Barks story called The Trouble with Dimes. And you just have great Scrooge and Donald kind of doing, you know, bickering with each other a little bit, and then Scrooge kind of storming off into his money bin, and then you end up with just a classic money bin panel. And you know, you have, you know, you could dive in them like porpoises, or burrow like gophers, or toss them and let them hit you on the head, like classic Scrooge money bin content. And this whole story is sort of Rosa sort of poking fun at comic book collectors. So he said, you know, coin collectors makes me sick. They only collect coins because other people put a value on them. They look at their old coins up in price guide. They tell them they're worth more than face value, but why? You know, it's a sort of Rosa sort of poking fun at comic book collectors, of which he was massive. Rosa was a massive comic book collector. So hopefully, I think he's also poking fun at himself a little bit. But aside from that, just an exceptional Don Rosa Uncle Scrooge page. Just as good as you could ask for, really. It's perfect. It's a perfect Don Rosa Uncle Scrooge page. I said it. All right.
I'm not going to disagree with you on that one.
Onward to a couple of pages, some really cool pages. So we've had a few Sean Murphy White Knight pages before. We've even had a couple of Mateo Scalera White Knight Harley Quinn pages. I don't know that we've had any this good. So we've got two, both from early in the first issue. This page is the second page of the whole series, and it is the meeting of White Knight Universe Harley Quinn and Joker. She's dancing at a club, and he's sitting at her table. They get to talking. It gets a little flirty. She jumps down and sits on his lap. This is the beginning of the relationship. We kind of all know how that turns out, but this is a fantastic page. You can feel the tension between them. Really, really good drawing. And then just a couple pages later, Batman shows up to spoil their fun. He's always doing it. He just has to. And it's a great page. He's jumping through the roof. You get your Joker right there in the corner. It's awesome. Good Batman action.
Scalera is just exceptional. Like, his art is just so good.
Yeah, when he was announced as the artist for this series, I had kind of stopped reading the White Knight books at this point, but I perked up a little bit because I think that he's a really spectacular artist, and he did amazing work on this book, and in particular on both of these pages. I think they're both really great.
Agreed.
Those are very nice. I did not fall asleep, everybody. I'm looking at the art like you are. I didn't get to preview the auction before the show started today. I hate to say it.
All right, let's go backwards a little bit from Batman the White Knight. So we've got several Rob Liefeld pages. I'm going to do them in chronological order. So we've got a couple pages here from New Mutants Annual 5. This is from 1990. Is that right?
Yeah.
1990. So this is Liefeld's first New Mutant story that he ever drew. You got a couple of pages from that. That's kind of cool. This is Liefeld and Tin Zom. But you got some Warlock going on here, Sunspot and Wolfsbane, and some cool, oh, sorry. Some cool, like early Liefeld New Mutants, which is fun. Then we move on to, this is a page from New Mutants 86. So just one issue before Liefeld would introduce Cable. So getting a little more mature Liefeld New Mutant style going on here. And then jumping forward a little more, this is a pretty great page from X-Force number 9. Got, Shatterstar and Warpath, and more. This is sort of more the Liefeld that kind of everybody at that time sort of fell in love with, sort of that X-Force era Liefeld. It's pretty cool. It's a lot of fun. These comics were fun when they were coming out. They're still kind of fun. Liefeld still making exactly the kind. Liefeld has always been great at making exactly the kind of comics that he wanted to read. And there's something commendable about that, being afforded the luxury of being able to create things that are the things that you want to read. And it's not something that most artists really get to do. You kind of do the stories that people want you to do, not the stories you want to do.
And I think people talk a lot of shit about Liefeld.
Language, Harry, language.
Apologies. But from a very
it's okay though.
From a very young age, he was able to create comics that really connected with the audience, and that's a talent in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is also to be commended, and it's cool to see work from that period.
No, absolutely.
All right, next up, we got the production cover to Green Arrow number 69. Make your jokes now in the chat. So this is kind of an interesting one. It was
Mike Grell.
Yeah, Mike Grell. Apologies. This is the classic Mike Grell Green Arrow run. We got the prelim for the background element here in pencil on the back. This is a drawing. It comes with it. On the front, we've got an overlay with this Green Arrow silhouette, and then the background is photocopied. So I think what happened was he drew the background on one thing, and on another piece of paper, copied it, and moved it around, whatever, resized it if he needed to, and then drew the overlay with the silhouette, and then this was used to create the finished image. So this is the production cover. It's just only the overlay and the prelim are original drawing. The background is Xerox, but it's very cool. It's classic Grell graphic cover design
in his Green Arrow costume, which is probably still the best Green Arrow costume.
These comics are great. I mean, he really reimagined Green Arrow as this kind of principled, street level, urban defender. It's a great.
Maybe and I'm not knocking Mike Grell because I really like those Green Arrow comics, but he kind of just made him Batman with arrows.
Yeah, he made a Batman with arrows, but that was the premise of a very successful TV show. So
fair point. No, and I really like Mike Grell's Green Arrow comics, so I'm not criticizing them in any way.
And he had this real sort of graphic, bold sensibility that he brought to the covers for that. series, and this is one of the best demonstrations of that I've ever seen.
All right, this is Batman Shadow of the Bat by Norm Breyfogle, and you know, classic Breyfogle, kind of big, bold, chunky drawing, really well done action, great Batman image in that bottom panel. Just yeah, beautiful Breyfogle work. He's yeah, one of my favorite Batman artists.
And I read a little bit of this issue to try to get some context for what was going on this page. If you haven't read this issue, it's real sad. It's really sad, which is
what happens in this issue.
It's all about this like homeless guy who keeps like seeing Batman, and he's just like encounters him. It's part of what I love about these sort of ancillary Batman titles, Legends of the Dark Knight, Shadow of the Bat, is they can kind of play at the mythology of Batman, sort of at the fringes, and this issue does that really well. Next up, we got Ben Oliver, just a beautiful illustration of Christopher Reeve as Superman, kind of the defining Superman in my head still, like when I think about what live-action Superman looks like, it looks like this. And you can tell that Ben Oliver is the same way. This is
quite a good likeness.
A really good likeness, but it doesn't look like he's just sort of recreating a photograph.
It looks like a Ben Oliver painting of Christopher Reeve. You know what I mean? It doesn't look like Ben Oliver copying a photograph of Christopher Reeve.
And the background, everything about this is perfect. It looks like it came from that time period, even though it's from.
And as far as I know, unpublished, which is a shame because it looks like something that should be published.
We saw this and we both kind of assumed that it was a cover for that Superman 78 series that DC's been doing. It isn't. Ben Oliver did do a cover for that book and it's great. This is not that cover, which was shocking to both of us. It's very, very good.
Let's get a little brisk. We've got four pages from Captain America 154. You still watching, Alberto? Captain America 154 by Sal Buscema. So this is the fake Captain America?
Yeah, so the 50s Captain America sort of comes back and Cap fights him, and that's kind of what's going on here.
Let's closer and go through them. Oops. So yeah, there. Real nice Falcon page here.
Sal Buscema was just kind of
an excellent Falcon page here. That last panel, Falcon and Red Wing. Thank you. Really, really, really wonderful. And then another one. Just yeah, all from the same issue. Kind of a classic era Buscema Captain America.
He really like defined the look of a lot of those Bronze Age Marvel titles, and none more so than Captain America, I think.
And then we got a couple of Sal Buscema pages from New Mutants 11, so early New Mutants pages from Sal, and also kind of cool, a lot of different characters represented. Also nice early New Mutants.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And then we got a couple of Alan Davis Excalibur pages. This is Excalibur 67. It's a real nice page with pretty much the whole team on it, which is nice. Always nice to get the whole team in a team book.
And then we've got a special edition page drawn on the larger paper. This is Davis pencils and inks, and it's just a great Rachel page.
That's what I'm saying. It's great to get a page from a team book that features just one of the characters.
It allows you to focus on the characters that maybe are your favorites.
No, this is a really, really great Rachel page though, from the very memorable Excalibur Special Edition. Yeah, it's got the werewolves in it. It's got really beautifully drawn Rachel. Like Davis. So there's a few. So Davis is not credited as inking any of the Special Edition, but there's a few pages that he did, and you can identify those because he wrote on the back Alan Davis inks. And you can tell when you look at it that they're different than the Paul Neary pages.
It's a real
sort of like the way the fringe in her jacket. It's like really, really, really well drawn and well inked, and not in a way not to criticize Paul Neary, just different style.
Mm-hmm. No, Neary was excellent.
Paul Neary was excellent. No, I'm not trying to knock anybody.
We've got Alex Savick Spider-Man Adventures. So this was the comic series that was based on the cartoon. This page is interesting. It's got a really good sort of big Spider-Man image down here. Spivak worked on Spider-Man for quite a long time, was working in comics for quite a long time by this point, but really became associated with that late 90s Spider-Man style, and was great at it, as you can see here. Interesting thing about this issue, this was the last issue where he was able to draw sort of comic book 90s style Spider-Man before being asked by the cartoon producers if he could draw Spider-Man more like he looked in the cartoon and less like he looked in the comic books. So they changed the character design for this series to look more sort of simplified and animated rather than this sort of heavily detailed 1990s Spider-Man style that you're seeing here. So that's kind of historic.
Let's just quick wrap up the rest of the stuff that's behind us.
Yes.
This is a drawing of Superman by Joe Shuster. This is likely from the late 50s. So what's interesting about this one, because, you know, Shuster did a lot of these drawings for fans, but what's nice about this one is that it wasn't for a fan. This was done for Shuster's cousin. So it says, you know, best personal wishes to cousin Donald from the artist creator of Superman, Joe Shuster. And it's very cool, but we actually got this from Joe Shuster's cousin's son. So this had been in the family since the 50s when he drew it. And his son remembered, he's like, I remember him doing it. That's how we kind of were able to date it, because he's like, I remember when he did it, if I was a kid, which is awesome. I love the personal aspect. I love the family connection. It's great provenance. And just a great portrait of Superman by his creator. I mean, you know.
And earlier than a lot of these that you see.
Sure. Yeah, most of the ones you see are from the 70s and 80s when he started sort of doing the convention circuit.
And to bolt this down, even though it's a nightmare to move anywhere, this is one of my favorite pieces in the auction. I'll try to put it somewhere where you can kind of see what it is.
Yeah, it's like 3 feet tall.
Yeah. This is
Howard Chaykin.
Howard Chaykin. This is the cover to a book called The Swords of Heaven, The Flowers of Hell. It was an original story that he and Michael Moorcock wrote together in the late 70s from 1979. And then Chaykin adapted it into a graphic novel that was published in the UK and then here in the States by Heavy Metal. It was an original story that was sort of an expansion on the early parts of Moorcock's Eternal Champion mythology. So kind of foundational Michael Moorcock stuff happening here in an original graphic novel, not based on an existing story. And I was excited to get this for the auction, and then it arrived in our office, and it was like 3 times bigger than I thought it was going to be. We talked to the consignor. The consignor apparently asked Chaykin, why is it so big? And Chaykin just kind of threw his hands up and was like, that's what I thought it was supposed to be. But it is awesome. It's really beautiful. There's some great technique here, and it's huge. It's 30 by 40. It's giant.
Yeah, Chaykin really channeling that classic 70s kind of movie poster illustration, sort of Robert McGinnis and Bob Week. Yeah.
It's great. I love it.
I love having it. It's really fantastic, but it is almost comically large. Ka-chunk. All right, back to normal size art. Steve Liailoa, this is New Mutants number 34. Liailoa pencils and inks, which is a little bit unusual, but really pretty. Like a really great New Mutants page. A lot of, pretty much the whole team in Endstorm. And really, really good drawing. Like a really nice. I didn't know I wanted a Liailoa New Mutants page until this came in, and I was like, oh, I kind of want one of those.
Got a cover here from the first issue of the recent Miguel O'Hara Spider-Man 2099 series. There have been a handful of recent relaunches of the Spider-Man 2099 character, but this was one of the more popular ones in recent memory. This cover is by Nick Bradshaw, who's done a lot of really great Spider-Man stuff in the last several years. This features Spider-Man 2099 and Simon Garth, the ill-fated zombie from the 1950s Menace series, who got sort of repurposed in the 70s as Tales of the Zombie, fighting a zombie outbreak in the future. It's awesome. It's super, super busy in the way that Bradshaw does best. I really, really love it.
Okay. This is Carlos Pacheco. This is the back cover to the X-Men Mutations books from 1996, so a great 90s period Pacheco X-Men. And yeah, it's Apocalypse. It's like really well, I like, it's a back cover, so I imagine there was stuff going on the sides, but really nicely conceived, nicely laid out, Pacheco, and inked by Tim Townsend.
It's just sort of an interesting trade paperback there, collecting like different X-Men character storylines where they change from one version of the character to another. And the villains responsible are on the back cover.
I got a couple of nice pieces by David Mack. This is a variant cover to Department of Truth number 10.
One of my
beautiful Mack
going right now, and Mack does a great job.
And then this one's just an illustration of Rogue, but it's a very pretty illustration of Rogue, like really nicely finished by Mack. Beautiful color, like all the stuff that Mack does real well. Man who looks like him shouldn't make art so pretty. No offense to David Mack, I'm not criticizing his appearance. He just doesn't look like a guy who would be so delicate with his drawing.
We got a cover, here's the variant cover to Captain Marvel number 28 from 2021. So this is from the storyline where Captain Marvel starts to learn magic. This is by Belen Ortega, who is currently working on the Trinity Daughter of Wonder Woman series with Tom King, one of the more exciting artists to come to my attention in the last few years. And a really fantastic piece here featuring all these different magic users from the Marvel Universe.
It's a really beautiful piece by John Cassidy. This is from Captain America, the 2002 Captain America series. Cassidy was so good. It's, it's one of those things where, when I see Cassidy's work or I think about it now, it just makes me sad. Although, the work we're never going to get to see. It's just one of those situations, but really beautiful Captain America page here.
This would have been shortly after Planetary, before X-Men.
During Planetary. Planetary went on for a long time.
So sort of at the height of his powers.
And this next one, this is something, I still don't know. I don't know if I do still want one, but if I ever wanted a Thundercats page, this would be the page that I would want. It's just great. It's a great Mumra. You've got slides, and you've got bear bills, and you've got Lion-O, taking out the sword and reciting this whole thing, and the Aya Thundera and the Thundercats logo. It makes me want a Thundercats page, and I don't know how bad I want one, but if I did, this is the one I would want. It's very cool. Harry doesn't get it.
I am not of that generation. I know nothing about the Thundercats, but it's cool.
Got a nice Ross Andrew Amazing Spider-Man page, so Amazing Spider-Man 136. It's a really nice Peter Parker page, but just beautiful Spider-Man era, Bronze Age Ross Andrews. Really nice drawing. More Ross Andrew. This is Our Fighting Forces page. This is jumping back a little bit of time. This is from 1955. 55. So really nice twice up war page by Ross Andrew.
We've got Ron Friends, Joe Sinnott's Thor page here from the sort of post-Simonson Thor run that Friends did. Really great sort of sci-fi storytelling. Thor and somebody else, I think Captain Britain.
Somebody else.
It took me a second. Get sort of trapped down at the center of the earth and are negotiating with Prince. It's great sci-fi page.
Just to, in case anybody is wondering, there's a lot to keep straight in your head when you're doing these things and talking about this much art. I've got 3 pages from Gru number 71 by Sergio Aragones. Each one of them just chock full of Sergio Aragones goodness. They're fantastic. They're Sergio Aragones Gru pages. You kind of know what you're getting. Like there's really no bad ones. Like he didn't fool around. Still doesn't. Those are exceptional.
I'll talk about this one because I love this comic. This is from Superman Secret Identity #1 from 2004. This is a page of Clark Kent realizing that
Stuart Immonen.
Yes. Stuart Immonen drew this really beautifully, mainly pencil with a little bit of ink just to sort of fill in the black. This is a page of Clark Kent realizing that he doesn't just share a name with a comic book hero, he may share a little bit more, and sort of taking flight for the first time. Really, really fantastic, and you just don't see these that often. Some of my favorite art that Immonen ever did, and very different from the rest.
It's a real nice double-page spread by Stephen Hughes. This is from the Lady Death 4, the Crucible series, issue 4. Has a lot of numbers to remember. But yeah, real nice Stephen Hughes Lady Death double spread. And yeah, Stephen Hughes is another one who's unfortunately no longer with us. But yeah, so you know his work is increasingly hard to find. This is a real pretty double spread from Lady Death.
Another favorite artist of mine, Kyle Baker. This is the back cover to an issue of Special Forces #4. The logo is a recreation. The artwork is down here, but just fantastic, sort of famously recreating the famous kiss after World War II with this sort of destroyed, bombed out background. Just classic Kyle Baker humor.
I've got David Peterson Mouse Guard cover here. This is the cover to one of his Mouse Guard sketchbooks. That one, it comes with it. Really great Mouse Guard images. So this is this sketchbook kind of covers the, if you're familiar with Mouse Guard, it's the Black Axe and like the history of the Black Axe and the different people who have used it. So the book is called Axe Wielders, and you've got the Black Axe being forged in the cover, which is kind of awesome. I love Mouse Guard. I love David Peterson. Super great artist, super nice person. I got nothing bad to say about it. This is a Spawn piece by Simon Kurdansky. I'm gonna hope I pronounced that right. So this is so Kurdansky, because modern artists do things differently. This image is basically the right half of a double spread, sort of digitally kind of put together for the publication, but this is the bulk of the right half of a double spread. But just like a real great image of Spawn. None of his work is inked. It's all printed directly from pencils, so this is as finished as they get. It's really quite a stunning image of Spawn.
This is more She-Hulk by Mike Bosberg from the original Savage She-Hulk series. This is She-Hulk facing down Man-Elephant, not Elephant Man, Man-Elephant. Just a great action page of her fighting Man-Elephant.
Man-Elephant. That's it. I mean, that's all you need to know.
Yeah.
First appearance, I'm sure.
This is Dick Giordano Batman page. This is Batman number 421. But just real nice Giordano. Giordano's as consistent as they come. Just real pretty Giordano Batman page.
And pencils by Giordano, inks by Rubenstein, which is interesting to see Giordano not inking it. And then we've got kind of a special piece here. This is a Harry Potter drawing by Marie Grandpré, who did the illustrations, both the cover illustrations and the interior illustrations, for the American editions of the Harry Potter novels. You don't see her art very often. I could only find 2 other examples out there.
And they're similar kind of sketches.
Yeah, so this is undated, but I believe from around when the first book came out, there was a signing. The guy who gave this to us got a copy of the book signed, brought a piece of paper for her to draw on, and this was the drawing that she did. Really great, real nice snitch in it. It's kind of playful. It's all done in ballpoint. I really like this.
Yeah, and I don't think we can stress enough how difficult it is to find any art from her at all. She does not do appearances to speak of. I mean, I've seen one Harry Potter piece by her, like a published piece in a collection, but I've never seen anything for sale.
Yeah, the only pieces for sale I've ever seen were sold listings from many years ago that all went for several $1,000s for similar sketches, probably done at signing.
Mm-hmm. All right, you want to
Yeah, dude, these.
Yeah, we're just gonna breeze through a few more things, and then we're gonna try to wrap it up as quickly as possible.
One more giant piece. We got a Vampirella cover. This is the cover of Vampirella Draculon #2 by Jordan Raskin. It's really cool. It's Raskin clearly trying to recreate the Jose Gonzalez like classic door poster with Vampirella reaching out, just slightly different angles. Dracula in the background. It's really cool. Very big. Oh, I talked about turtles.
Yeah.
We got 2-page spread by the Escorza brothers from the sequel series, TMNT, The Last Ronin Re-Evolution, featuring future Casey Jones. Just a great 2-page spread of her facing down a giant crowd of guys. And then we've got a couple more pieces by the Escorzas that I can show you. We've got Michelangelo and a Raphael, commissioned by them. Very, very cool, sort of limited color and pen and ink drawing. Got 2 pieces by an artist who I love. These are from the recent TMNT series by Jason Aaron and a variety of artists, mainly Juan Ferreira, who drew these 2 fantastic pages from issue number 6. This is the Turtles back in New York, realizing that they're kind of on their own. Shredder's gone. Shredder? No. What's
Splinter?
Splinter. I don't know turtle stuff. Mike is making me do this. Splinter's gone. They got a dead rat that they've just been carrying around, but like a regular rat, not Splinter. They're kind of losing it. Great action page here during a car chase. And then this is them being cornered in Times Square by the NYPD, holding a dead rat, just sort of at a dead end.
I mean, you know, when was the last time you went to Times Square and didn't see a turtle holding a dead rat?
I definitely saw a dead rat the last time I was there. But these are both fantastic pages. And Ferreira does a really interesting process where he pencils and sometimes inks. He inks both of these, and then does a little bit of watercolor on the pages, and then does the finished color digitally. So he sort of does a hybrid coloring process, but it adds some really interesting texture to them.
They're really pretty pages. Yeah. There's a bunch of turtles are on the auction. Just go to the auction. Look for
sort of spans, from the 90s to now, kind of a wide range.
This is real cool. I'm not going to take it out. You got to go look at it. This is by Robert Webb. This is a complete 7-page Captain Cutlass story from 7 Seas Comics #2. This is from 1946. This is a really cool, complete Golden Age story. Really beautiful drawing. There's a couple other Robert Webb pieces.
Yeah, okay.
This is more Golden Age art. This is some Golden Age Western art by Alex Toth, pencils and inks. Very early pencils and inks by Toth. It's got Toth's beautiful signature down there. Yeah, I mean, Alex Toth, he's one of the best.
Got James Finch drawing Joker, really creepy, real sort of pencil neck, sort of highlighting how frightening he is. This is just a great illustration here by Finch. This is a Thor for Asgard page by Simone Bianchi. Bianchi's great. You know, it's just a beautiful detail in there from Simone. We got a couple of really excellent Catwoman illustrations. First by Enrico Marini, who we sold art by before. This is a really great purple suit Catwoman. The Batman the Dark Prince Charming, the graphic novel that Marini did. This is the version of Catwoman that he did for that. And we've got a really great Catwoman here with some spot yellow, green. I'm colorblind. Spot Yellow by Cal New, who's been a discovery here around the office. We've had a few of his pieces, and they're all real standouts. Really, this one no exception.
Should try to get him for OAX there, Bill.
His name has come up.
This is really cool. This is a really early drawing. This is the thing. This is a really early drawing by Joe Madureira. It's so early that he signed it with his whole name, which I don't know that I'd ever seen a Madureira piece signed actually Madureira. But that's cool. You can see, well, I'm not 100% sure what year this is from, late 80s, early 90s, probably.
I'm assuming.
But you can sort of see, the sort of the anime influence, the manga influence, and that he would basically, take over comics with. Beautiful illustrations of Sandman and Death by Fabio Moons.
Delirium.
And Delirium. Thank you. Really beautiful illustration by Fabio Moon.
Got a really cool piece of Spider-Man and Kraven by Alex Maleev here. This is from 2006. Really good period for Maleev, sort of coming off of Daredevil. This is a great piece.
Just going to breeze through a couple more things. Really beautiful Paul Gulacy Catwoman page. This is from the sort of Darwin Cook designed Catwoman series from the early 2000s. Real nice Mark Bagley Venom. This is from the Venom number 158. Like Venom and Kraven the Hunter, just like all action. Like a real nice Bagley Venom page. It's the Chris Pachalo Ghost Rider 2099. And Eddie Barrows, real pretty Eddie Barrows Batman page from Detective Comics.
Just the James Tynion, Eddie Barrows Detective Comics run. It's a fantastic book.
Thank you. It's Spider-Gwen by
Robbie Rodriguez, co-creator of the character. A really beautiful watercolor illustration.
And lastly, end this up with another piece of art are going to take out. This is Paul Pelletier, Hulk. What's this? World War? What? Fall of the Hulk. Yeah, sorry. The different titles on the artwork and on the actual book. Really nice, like Hulk double spread. And
the Hulk and the Leader, just a big action piece. It's fantastic.
Yes. And yeah, that's it. So yeah, we've got all this, much more.
If the auction is so.
I think you only got through about half of it, right? How many pieces are in this one?
That's about 300.
Yeah, that was probably less than half.
Maybe
about a third. And all quality. I mean, you'd be hard pressed to find a piece in this auction that I'm not excited about. We didn't have 6 hours to talk about everything.
But you know, it's the auction is next Thursday. Starts at 7 o'clock. Everybody should know how our auctions work by now. If you don't, my email's on the screen. You can call me. You can send me
and if you have something to consign or questions,
of course. You know, obviously, if you have anything to consign, please get in touch. If there's anything, if you saw anything that's in this auction that you want to buy, but maybe you don't have, you know, the finances for, well, you can consign art to the next auction to pay for wins from this auction. That's, you know, more than happy to do that. I encourage it.
And this is our last auction before OAX, but our next one we'll have closed consignments for the next one by the time OAX rolls around. So if you want to give us stuff for the next auction, let us know as early as possible. We want to hear from you. It helps us plan.
And if you want to give us, anything you give us for the next auction, we could bring to OAX to show off, because we will be showing off pieces from the next auction at OAX. I think the auction is going to start
the Monday after OAX.
Yeah, I believe the Monday after OAX is when the auction starts. Thanks, Bill.
Yeah, well, you know, timing is everything.
No, of course. No, we're looking forward to it. That's our next convention. We had a nice.
I was going to ask you that too. Is that the next show for you guys? We did Baltimore, after New York, and we don't have to do no other shows until we get to go to lovely Florida in bitter cold February. So I'm looking forward to it. Hey, it was 75 here today, so
I don't care if it
changes itself. February will be about the same.
It's 30 degrees in New York right now.
It's true.
Well, as always, guys, you know, this is fun for me to hang out, and honestly, I had no opportunity to preview the auction while before the show tonight. So while you guys were talking a lot, I was actually working my way ahead, looking at a lot of the pieces. So no, there's a lot of good stuff, as always.
You know, we think this is a pretty strong auction. I'm proud of it. There's a lot of exciting pieces that would be exciting in any auction. You know, Giant Size X-Men, Star Wars one, Walking Dead one, Miller Daredevil. I mean, that Kaluta painting, the Barks painting. I mean, you know, it's, and that, I mean, I'm not even, that's just a few off the top of my head. There's as many exciting pieces in this auction as I think we've ever had in one single auction.
And a lot of it,
Quietly new X-Men.
Oh, that Quietly New X-Men page is, oh man, it's so good.
Yeah, that one's a really good one. I'd be happy to have that one in my collection. But yeah, it's already, where it's at now, it's going to go pretty high.
I hope so. No, and we're, I'm pleased with where things are at right now, where the way the auction is going. There's still 10 days left, nine days left for bidding, so there's plenty of time. And yeah, please mind the bombardment of promotion that I'll be doing over the next week and a half. So
exactly. We'll get a mailing out for you like we always do. I always take the mailing that you send to the Comic Ardell because it's nice and concise and in an easy copy paste format. So that's the one I prefer. I'll be looking at that one, and I'll mail it.
Yeah, that'll go out next week, but I can send that to you in advance if you want.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, I'd be happy to put something out there before the end of the week if you got that.
No, it's exciting, and as usual, like both of us will be in the office during the auction. So if there's any last minute issues or questions, we're here to answer them.
If you want to call in, and
you want to call and chat
about the auction, if you want to bid over the phone, if you have any questions about how this works, we're on call during the auction. Let us know. We're happy to help.
Yep. And yeah, and what's a better way to go into Christmas season than to buy yourself something nice, or something for somebody else? I don't know. There's plenty of gift options in the auction.
Exactly. All right. Well, I'll look forward to getting that email from you so I can get that sent out. And then, of course, anything we can do to help out in the lead up to the auction next Thursday for the OA side of things, right?
And again, the auction runs Sunday through Thursday. The last day will be the art session. So the 11th of December, Thursday, first piece ends at 7 p.m. Eastern time.
And again, to everybody watching, I appreciate it always. Thanks for putting up with our marathon of show and tell.
And thanks for joining us on the Monday after Thanksgiving. We're all just getting out of the turkey coma. I think to be here with all of you.
I think I still bleed gravy.
All right, guys. Well, everybody in the chat, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. We'll be, we'll, of course, be back at it again tomorrow. But it's good to be back after the holidays. Thank you, both Micah and Harry, for doing this presentation with us tonight.
Thank you, Bill. You always appreciate it.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.